Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis. And as always, we're going to be talking about Hedera Hashgraph or HBAR again today. And the reasoning behind this is because I think that a lot of people are kind of overlooking, some huge potential that is behind some small things that a lot of people don't realize how big they actually are, or maybe they're just not caring about it because they're invested in other projects that they believe in more, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to be here to address those major innovations that is happening at Hedera Hashgraph that not a lot of people are talking about, right? A lot of people are talking about nonsense. A lot of people are talking about this, that. But today we're going to be talking about real life use cases and a lot of innovation that is happening over at HBAR. So let's jump into it, let's talk about it, and let's get into it. So overall, we're going to start off with a banger. We're going to be talking about 1.3 billion coupons redeemed with CPG, the Coupon Bureau, right? Having spent more than $225 billion in promotional spending on coupons. Guys, this is 1.3 billion transactions that are going to be coming over to our lovely mainnet of Hedera Hashgraph. Coupon Bureau is doing incredible. I think that this could really kind of grow year to year as more and more digital coupons are clipped. I think coupons. There's some people out there that take couponing very, very serious. I mean, listen, you're saving money, so retail loves this. I think that this is great for the retail market. I think that this could actually grow exponentially, especially as we march forward into the digital age of even transactions over the internet. Even during COVID, a lot of people we're really trying to shop online more than shopping in person. So I think that this could be a huge innovation. We even see our $225 billion coupon industry ripe for disruption, with only 4.2% distributed digitally. Only 4.2%. That is crazy to me. So this is going to grow extremely well, and I think that the Coupon Bureau is going to be a huge use case that is on the Hedera mainnet, and this is one of many that could pretty much provide billions of transactions a year. But this is really interesting, and I think a lot of people are undermining this. Now, I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about this. Wow, I had no idea 70% of Ethereum and Cardano nodes are served by a single centralized cloud service, or AWS, Amazon Web Services, as you guys do know. In Hedera network, no more than one node can be the host on the same cloud platform. Hedera is the most decentralized network you could find, hands down. And this goes hand in hand with the idea that a lot of people who are invested in Cardano, or even in Ethereum, or even in Avalanche, right? A lot of them are like, well, Hedera is all centralized. It's a centralized garbage coin, whatever. Nobody cares about it. But I don't think people are realizing how decentralized the Hedera network actually is. When we're talking about all of the major GC members, and we're talking about the nodes and all that kind of stuff that is going to be released into the entire platform and the entire ecosystem, it is one of the most decentralized assets in the space. And I think that is one of the biggest, mentions that a lot of people kind of buy into the FUD of it being a centralized asset, but it's not. It's the same thing that goes in hand with the tokenized, or the token economics, that a lot of people think that are bad, but it's actually not. It's actually very good for the ecosystem. So overall, this is incredible. I love to see it. Hedera Hashgraph is the most decentralized network out there that you will find in crypto, and I strongly stand by that. You guys could do your own research, but you will only find that it is extremely decentralized. Now, we also see here, are there projects in crypto that have achieved adoption yet aside from Bitcoin? NFTs, as silly as they have become, are at least an example of real-world use cases for artists and content creators. Is everything else currently still in just demo mode, i.e. trading phase? And we do see here, I think what you meant to say is, are there projects in crypto that have achieved adoption yet aside from Hedera Hashgraph? And yes, this is the case. We are doing massive amounts of daily transactions on the Hedera mainnet, more transactions than pretty much almost any project out there. I think that this is this is the most utilized DLT, right? I've been saying it forever. It is the most utilized DLT out there with the most utility, in my opinion. And also the transactional fees are just incomparable to anything else out there. Now, this goes all the way back to, I think, January of 2021, in response to how many transactions we were doing daily. I think that this actually boosted up a little bit more. But overall, Hedera Hashgraph is coming for the next of almost any DLT out there in response of being more utilized on a massive scale than any other DLT out there. Now, also we see here ADA states it wants to onboard 50 banks and 3 Fortune 500s in the next 3 years. In 2 years, HBAR already has 2 leading banks, 8 Fortune 500 companies, 3 leading universities, and Link, amongst others, on its GC, 2 active Fortune 500 use cases, and with 2 more Fortune 500 and 1 Fortune 10 building already. And this is incredible because we just recently seen ADA onboard Link to help with their overall smart contract system. And I think that this is actually funny considering the fact that HBAR is already working with Link. So technically speaking, in a sense, ADA is utilizing HBAR. So I think that this is actually pretty funny to see how all of this stuff gets connected. But who knows? We will see how that works out, but overall we do know that the innovation at HBAR is far beyond all of the competition, and I think that this is only going to prosper more and more. Now we also see here the market for carbon offsets is set to explode according to a new report from Bank of America. For companies to meet their 2050 net zero commitments, the market for carbon offsets may grow by as much as 50x. Alright guys, so I've been talking about carbon offsets for a fairly long time on this channel in regards to Hedera Hashgraph, and it all takes me back to this as well that I seen today from Denny Ide. Great presentation by EN Blockchain explaining carbon neutrality, the existing flaws in current GHG accounting systems, and how a public blockchain like Hedera can track real-time carbon offset supply and demand in an immutable and auditable manner. Now this is huge because we always talk about carbon emissions. We talk about carbon emissions tokens or CETs. I talked about this just the other day actually on this channel, and a lot of people were like, nobody cares about carbon offsets. It's just all made up propaganda. I think it's the idea that, like, listen, carbon offsets are a huge concern, and they're actually a huge problem. I don't think that they're made up either. I got that comment on like the other video, and I almost laughed. But overall, when we're talking about this is also coming from Interwork Alliance, just so you guys know, which I've talked to you guys about just in a video yesterday, utilizing Microsoft and also Accenture, by the way, just so you guys know. But also, let's go over here and check out these CETs. We even see here generates 1.242 tons of carbon. A token can be created with the same amount. So when we're talking about this, we're also talking about, the demand of these is extremely high. We talk about this is emerging technology to enhance trust as well. But we also talk about DLTs, and look at who is listed here. Our lovely friend HBAR. Now, when we talk about this, okay, listen. We get that, we're talking about carbon emissions, we're talking about the future of carbon emissions, but it all comes back to one big name in this scene as well, and that is Dovu, right? Overall, we do see our $200 billion estimated by 2030 carbon market, right? The carbon market's going to grow and grow as time goes on, and I understand that 200 billion is not that much, especially by 2030, but this is just one market. We actually see here 1 Bitcoin transaction can power a US household for 23 days. Now we do see here the overview of this is Dovu is a tokenized data economy for DeFi carbon offsetting. It uses Hedera to inexpensively issue tokenized carbon credits to any person, business, or government in order to fund projects which remove, capture, or even sequester carbon from the environment. So when we're talking about carbon offsets and sustainability and even just carbon credits, this is where our lovely friend Hedera Hashgraph comes in clutch. Tokenization of carbon credits. This is going to be a huge use case, and we're even talking about Ethereum here as well in regards to the NFT marketplace. We're talking about HTS as well. I think with Dovu in terms of this could be huge, right? We're talking about tokenized data economy for DeFi carbon offsetting. We already talked about data, how data is basically the new digital oil, but we also talk about the DeFi sector. We talk about the carbon offsetting sector. That is a growing, prospering sector on all accounts. And we also talk about this, going carbon negative at Hedera Hashgraph. This goes back to August 6th. And this is going to be huge because they're talking about, financial services, healthcare, social networking, supply chain, multimedia, sustainable energy, and more. They're talking about, in regards to the transformational power of the internet that we've seen over the past 25 years, this is going to grow more and more, and this is actually going to prosper us into a new age of just pretty much everything, right? Because we're talking about individuals here, organizations, corporations, and even governments. And when we talk about DOT technologies as they are taking over in regards to the carbon offset or the carbon negative aspect, HBAR is probably going to be the first of many to really go carbon negative. And at this point, they are the greenest technology, so they will most likely get to the point of being carbon negative probably sooner than 2050, by the way, because that's their original plan. But we do see down here, calculating quarterly offsets for network operations. To offset network operations, Hedera Hashgraph has purchased Green E-Climate certified credits for 23 metric tons of CO2 at a cost of $10 per metric ton, totaling $230 only. So when we talk about this, right, we're actually seeing down here the emissions included in this assessment stem from all public-facing infrastructure as found on status.hedera.com. As of 8/5/2021, this includes mainnet nodes, 21 nodes, testnet nodes, 6 nodes. All of this goes hand in hand with getting to that point. But we also see Hedera network operation emissions for Q2 2021 were 20 metric tons of CO2, according to a carbon assessment by the third-party firm TerraPass. So that is nothing, right? We're talking about, this is pretty much, this is the amount of CO2 equivalent to 4.3 gasoline-powered passenger vehicles being driven for 1 year. That's how green the Hedera network actually is, in a sense. So think about that. That's absolutely crazy. We're even seeing the comparison of Hedera to Ethereum and Bitcoin in terms of transactions per day. We also see the kilowatts an hour, even the CO2. Hedera Hashgraph has the potential to really kind of prosper in this new age of carbon offsetting, the carbon credits, all of that in the sense of the carbon marketplace, because we even go hand in hand with EDF, talking about to build a carbon offset and credit marketplace. We also go into the idea of Dovu, Rectify, and even Power Transition, which I just talked about the other day, talking about tokenizing carbon offset credits and all that kind of stuff. So when we're talking about going all the way back to this in regards to the carbon offsets set to explode, guess who has the potential to really kind of prosper in this market? Our lovely friend Hedera Hashgraph. And this is a massive market, just so you guys know. And when we talk about this, we also go back to what Danny Ide's talking about here in regards to carbon neutrality as well. And I think that Hedera Hashgraph could really allow for, many use cases in this sector in regards to even tracking and tracing this as well, which I think could be such a massive project in itself, because this is also a lot of money in regards to a lot of these corporations coming in and actually utilizing this technology and paying top dollar for it to really kind of get to the point of carbon neutrality as well, which could be also a major use case on Hedera, because I think Hedera Hashgraph could help or actually allow a lot of these companies and these businesses to thrive at a carbon negative aspect, or even just kind of lower their carbon footprint a little bit more. And as we do know, we are marching into the greenest pretty much age of all technology and all usability in regards to companies, businesses, individuals, and all that. So I think that this is great. And again, this is an aspect of Hedera Hashgraph that a lot of people are overlooking, because they don't think that this is a major use case, because they don't think that there's a lot of money behind this, but there actually is, especially considering how many use cases are actually primed for this overall. And we're talking about, disrupting a lot of these infrastructures. So overall, this is great. I think, again, going back to my original basis, HBAR is an incredible long-term hold, and I think that it is a lot better than most of these assets on this list. And I don't even understand why HBAR is not in the top 10 yet, but that is exactly why we are so early, and we are basically invested on the ground floor level of HBAR. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys don't want free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are. Just people with us, been Nick. Peace out.